Peace and love. It's your girl S the Blesser, aka Essence Peace Love, aka at Piece of Essence on the gram, my sacred warrior for all my warriors, aka Young Rasta Jew. Yes, we are all here and present and ready on today, October 26th, 2019. Oh yeah, it's a Saturday, Saturn day. Yes, time to reground, reboot, restore, and prepare for the new week to come. So before we get started today, I want to share with y'all this song. It's been stuck in my head all morning, so I just want to share it with y'all. It's actually playing right now in the background. Okay. Just listen, okay? It's about 4 minutes, so just vibe, and we're going to jump right into it. You know, I feel that it may connect with what we're going to be speaking on today, so just allow your mind to be free, okay?
There's a lot of short-term health insurance out there that never
Hold
really
on. All right, that was an advertisement. I don't want y'all to have to sit in that.
One more time, let's teach them why the cage bird sings. I spit a verse so a horde of heathens can find the light, but keep a pistol that tear tissue like it's time to wipe. Don't fret, my first step ain't to resign your life. Plus that pistol fire don't bark until it's time to bite. And once you find a wife, you do what you must do to protect her and keep her up off a stretcher till she do. To have a baby, glad a lady came up to me and said, congratulations, don't come to those rather lazy instead of hard working. We all searching for affirmation. Some people wander the atlas for validation and valid statements from those who never will validate them. I pray I navigate them to a fortress where congregating with angels is the norm. You pray and they perform immaculate miracles to help you evade the swarm of vipers, snipers, and every wicked form of evil that's been trying to deceive you since you were born with your heavens and melanin. Don't let them convince you that your etiquette's a speech impediment. I'm in my element and feel benevolent, even when I'm viewed as the elephant in every residence I'm stepping in, but hell, I ain't tripping. Hey man, say man, flow nuts, macadamia. I'm from the city of purple, spitting vibranium. Get it in your cranium. Can't nobody send but him, and if I ever go down, it'll be swinging like pendulum. I said, if I ever go down, it'll be swinging like pendulums. Sing. We come from where most don't break free. We had to learn why cage birds sing. But we fly, even though they poison the sky. We don't cry. We gon' take our piece of the pie. Talk to him, Neil.
So I'ma need my bread hot, fresh and ready. For those who try to keep me on ice like a Yeti. The West B, where they press me to a diamond. That's why I throw it up like the Heimlich. I'm just maneuvering on the serpent's head. So I tread on the skulls of my enemies. And I'm quadrupling anything that I touch. If it's milk and honey, dummy, I'm the honeybee. Bussin'. You can see the pure pollination. Need G's like Masons and the Haven. For these beats I freak on the daily. I lose sleep, putting feet to the pavement and grinding like a power tool or X. Refining everything I do on wax. My time is here and I refuse to let the shine which only a diamond can match. Bling, bling.
Now, Tiny Desk, if y'all wouldn't just mind vibing with us real quick while we sing. We come from where most don't break free. We had to learn why cage birds sing. But we fly, even though they poison the sky. We don't cry, we gon' take our piece of the pie. Talk to him, Lou. We come from where most don't break free. We had to learn why cage birds sing. But we fly, even though they poison the sky. We don't cry, we gon' take our piece of that pie. Talk to him, Jay. We come from where most don't break free. We had to learn why cage birds sing. But we fly, even though they poison the sky. Yeah. We don't cry, we gon' take our piece of that pie. Everybody say. Ooh, ooh. We gon' take our piece of that pie. We gon' take our piece of that pie. Everybody say.
that was my Jiz Am. That was Toby Nwigwe. Oh my gosh, he is phenomenal. Like, he is like the perfect balance of speaking truth, speaking divinity, speaking Heika'u, you know, using Heika'u, and also balancing where he comes from, being from Houston, being that he came out of grew up in the area that he grew up in, and he's able to combine both light and dark to meet in the middle to speak this message, and he's being himself. So with that song, it really spoke to me. The Cage Bird sings, Cage Birds, that's what it is, featuring Nell. That was the NPR version. He actually put that version on his album, which I thought was very creative. And he to me, that just spoke confidence. You know, the bird that was trapped for so long, that restricted itself, and no one trapped it. It trapped itself in its mind. You know, self-sabotage, talking down on itself. And now it seemed like in this song, I imagine the bird still in the cage, but finding freedom inside of that cage, finding freedom inside of the darkness. And it reminded me of this art piece that my sister friend Fifi Condor, that is her name on Instagram, Fifi, Fefe Condor, Kondor, I believe that's how you spell it. But she painted this beautiful masterpiece of a crow and it or a raven, and it was huge. She used different type of pieces, random pieces, to put it together. It was absolutely beautiful. Like, I wish I could show it to you all. And I'm gonna ask her to send me a picture and see if I can post it on my story on Instagram or, you know, on my page, because it's absolutely beautiful. And it was a crow trapped in its cage, looking for a way out, looking for freedom. And that's exactly what it was. Literally a cage bird. You know, I wonder what she named that piece to. I'm gonna have to ask her, because that would be a perfect name for it. And of course, it reminded me of Maya Angelou's poem Cage Bird, which I assumed that this song was inspired by that. But maybe that's just where my mind went when I heard it and I seen the title, and how Maya Angelou says why the cage bird sings, you know, and it's just so beautiful. That poem. And actually, I want to share that poem too, as I feel like this is a powerful message that that song spoke. And for me, that was liberating, because it was I mentioned about power. He mentioned validation, you know, no longer needing validation now. And in this song, he wasn't singing from a perspective where the bird was still trapped. He was singing from a perspective, or speaking from a perspective, as if the bird is already free. And like I said, I imagine the bird still being in the cage, but finding freedom within that cage. Because even if someone else restricts your physical being, you have your mind. Your mind is your world. And if you are free in your mind, you are free in your world. And you are manifesting freedom and abundance around you. And he was also talking about confidence and just speaking up for oneself, and doing it. Like, the way he was speaking on himself is just like, I am all these things that I once felt that I was not, or I once felt I needed other things externally outside of me to become or to embody this aspect of myself. And this is the person I have always been. You know, now I'm just awakening to myself and beginning to acknowledge myself for all the goodness of me. And so I found The Cage Bird by Maya Angelou, and this is the poem. A free bird leaps on the back of the wind and floats downstream till the current ends, and dips his wings in the orange sun rays, and dares to claim the sky. But a bird that stalks down his narrow cage can seldom see through his bars of rage. His wings are clipped, and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown but longed for still, and his tune is heard, and the distant heel for the caged bird sings of freedom. The free bird thinks of another breeze, and the trade winds soft through the sighing trees, and the fat worms waiting on a dawn bright lawn, and he names the sky his own. But a caged bird stands on the grave of dreams. His shadow shouts on a nightmare screams. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, and he opens his throat to sing. The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown, but longed for still, and his tune is heard, and the distant heel for the caged bird sings of freedom. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. When I read, I'll be like, I have to kind of I'll be in it, and so I'm not really trying to process and think about it while I'm reading it. So because I know I embodied it, because I know I internalized the reading, to me, that poem spoke of similar to what that song meant and to what I imagined in my sister's painting, what I seen in her painting. Was the caged bird being tied and restricted, but the power of its voice is what sets it free. Speaking heikau, using heikau, words of power, speaking heikau, words of power. That is your freedom. That is your power. That is your throne. And sometimes we set down our power. It's not that someone takes away our power. It's that we choose not to use it because of fear or because of doubt and self-worry. Really, in a nutshell, because of fear. Fear that our words won't be accepted. Fear that it's not worth it. Fear that we're going to say the wrong thing, or someone's going to say something that overpowers our words, or fear of facing someone else's truth, fear of speaking up our own truth. Let me sit on that a little bit. Fear of facing or accepting someone else's truth, because they could speak their truth to us and we may not know how to take it in. We feel that it's more powerful to turn away words of right and truth than to accept them and allow them to open us up and surrender to them and accept them, allow them to grow us. That can be difficult. That can be a challenge for some of us, is to just allow things to grow us, to surrender. And it seemed like the caged bird sings. That is what I get from that. And it makes me want to cry because of how beautiful that is, because all of us are trapped in a way. All of us trap ourselves in a way. And now, during this time, in this moment, we are breaking free from that cage. Because even when we live in this society, we are still in this cage, but because of the power of our minds, that me, myself, and a lot of us that are listening here to this podcast, people around me in the community here, they are breaking free from that mental prison that was created from cycles of family, cycles of just the world and what we've been through over the past thousands of years, and how this trapped state of mind has devalued us, caused us to devalue ourselves or to give up and to sit in fear, when really, the external can be however it is, but your power is within your voice. So, wow, that was liberating and that was very beautiful. I do like to start off podcasts with a sacred word, so I'm just going to speak some words of intent, of manifestation, of gratitude for this day, gratitude for the power of my voice, my speaking heikau. I give thanks for this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. And even when the sun is not shining, I thank you for putting the sun in me. I thank you for putting the fire in me to ignite on the world, to ignite on my world. Thank you for giving me energy to guide me to move so that I can move and transmute all negative thoughts, all negativity into action, into positivity, to lead me to my destiny, allowing both light and dark things to grow me, that I learn from the things that I've been through, and allow my today to reflect the future that I desired to manifest. I am a sacred warrior, and I'm grateful to be a sacred warrior. I'm grateful to be existing. I'm grateful to be abundant for the body that my spirit and my soul sits and rests in, is made of the minerals and gold from the ground beneath us, supporting us, uplifting us, our mama holding it down, protecting us, this protective dome that is over our head and around our bodies, that protect our creations, that teach us how to protect ourselves and our creation. Thank you. Thank you for breath. Thank you for air. Thank you for communication. Thank you for technology that allows us to communicate with our brethren and sisters who we're unable to see every day and reach and feel and touch every day. But the power of our voice and using technology, using our platforms to grow each other and to grow ourselves, because to grow another is to grow ourselves and vice versa. To heal ourselves is to heal another. So we do have the power of healing. You gave us that. It's in our hands. It's in our hands. It's a team effort. As we are healing someone else, they are also healing us. Because it's the energy exchange. That's why you are aligned with certain people. Because there's an energy that they receive from you, and also an energy that you need from them through their healing. I give thanks. I give thanks for this awakening. I give thanks for the power of our mind, the power of our voice. Peace, 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 and abundance. Thank you. Thank you for being there with me. Okay, 17 minutes in, and we've already have touched bases over a lot of things. That's a really great way to start off this podcast, to start off today. I feel really good. I feel liberated already. It's beautiful. So I want to share some of my entry with you. I actually wrote one on Wednesday, October 26th, 2016. So this exact date, 3 years ago. Wow, we're in 2019. I've been journaling forever. That's crazy to look, to like travel in time to another lifetime of ourselves, a different space. You know, we're thinking differently and talking differently. So I'm excited. I'm excited to read this. I haven't read any of my journal entries yet, so this is the first. And I invite you all to chime in and speak that who is listening. May my words reflect anything that you're going through or been through, have grown from, still growing from, and just as much as it brings closure to me and an eye-opener for myself, may it do the same thing for you, because we are divine reflections. So I love you. Okay. So we are on Wednesday, October 26, 2016. I named this entry, "A Lot Going On, ... with a smiley face after that. Hey, so yes, I know I've been slacking, but I'm getting myself back together. Trying to manage work, 2 jobs, shorty, by the way, and teaching myself is a task, but I'm getting it done. A lot has happened these past couple of weeks. I was in a fashion show, right? Glad that's finally over. It was so unorganized, shaking my head, but good came out of it. So nice to have my face out and seen in the A. Looking forward to the next, just going with the flow. Now, I don't know if I ever told you I don't fuck with so-and-so anymore. I shouldn't even write his name in my book, but whatever. So his whole business is a fraud, right? Straight scheming and profiting off motherfuckers' careers. Shaking my head. Been with this agency for 2.5 months, and the only work I've done is a nude shoot, SMH, and that fashion show. So come to find out, he lied to me saying the nude shoot was required, said that every model has done a full nude shoot. It just makes me hot every time I think about it and talk about it. But I gotta put it in a book so I can move on. Like, he straight manipulated me just so he could see me naked. I feel so violated. But it's nobody's fault but mine. I had a choice, and I chose to share my art, my temple. And I shouldn't have been so naive. It's all good. It's definitely a learned lesson. Me moving too fast and, once again, giving people my trust who haven't earned it. Look, I don't even know this man. I need to start treating every new relationship, friendship, boyfriend, girlfriend, manager, business, employer, all of that, all need to be treated the same. They should all go through the same process. I'm so over this being naive shit, like for real. But the thing is, I just be ignoring my conscious mind, aka my spiritual guide, because of things I want, not looking at how it both benefits and hurts me. Like I said, learned lesson. The nude shoot wasn't nothing inappropriate. It was a natural nature shoot. Whatever. I'm just ready to move on from it. At least I got pictures for my portfolio book, and I walked away from this agency with a different mind, stronger than ever before. My confidence was boosted, and so was my self-respect. I mentioned earlier I got another job. LOL. Yeah, I'm really happy I did. It actually worked so perfect with my school schedule. Last night was my first night back at Target after an 8-day vacation. Ugh, take me back, please. Oh, I don't care. No. No, it's cool though. It's cool. I'ma stick it out through the holidays. Tax season coming up. Work these 2 jobs, make that holiday money, and get the fuck out of there. Hopefully everything is linked up smoothly for me so I can bounce I'm just going with the flow. Hopefully everything is lined up smoothly for me so I can bounce. Just going with the flow. Being back at Target every time I return after a break or vacation, I quickly remember how mentally overwhelming it is. Like, I think it's because there's so many different forms of energy sitting in there, dark energy mixed with light energy. It can be mentally and physically overwhelming. I mean, the work isn't hard, like no rocket science. I just refuse to stress. I refuse to stress. I refuse to sweat for these people. I mean, I do what I can though. I shouldn't leave work feeling the way I do. That's the only place I go to that actually gives me a headache soon as I walk through the door. Last night I had a horrible headache and I felt sick. Felt like I was going to throw up. Came home and showered, cleansed myself off, ate dinner and drank some feel-good tea. You know what I mean. Ate dinner and drank some feel-good tea. Woke up this morning feeling a lot better. I just really don't see how motherfuckers have been at Target for 10 plus years. Oh my gosh. SMH every time I think about it. I just shake my head like, Well, anyway, I'm growing every day. I can feel the growth. Well, anyway, I'm growing. Every day I can feel the growth. I mean, I can actually see it as well working on myself. I can actually see it as well. I'm growing every day. I can feel the growth. I can actually see it, and I can actually see it as well. I'm working on myself. I have a lot to accomplish, but I will. I just gotta get myself right before I can, but put a stamp on it all. I just gotta get myself right before I can put a stamp on it all. I'm well enough now to where I can begin my journey and allow it to grow as I do, and move when I move. I have so many goals. Like, I really need to do that vision board my mama has been telling me about all my life. LOL. It'll be nice to actually see my goals outside of my head, organized and laid out. Oh, I finished 2 songs yesterday, working on an album or EP or whatever, based on what I'm talking about around the things I want to preach to people. Just give the people different perspectives. Some people may not understand what I'm saying just from me explaining it through some people may not understand what I'm saying just from me explaining it through conversation and actual sentences, but put it in a song, it'll reach a whole nother audience. You feel me? They'll interpret it differently. LOL. Putting real words on top of a dope ass beat, LOL. On my Erykah Badu-ish. I'm not even thinking, I'm just feeling, whatever comes out is gonna be real anyway. It's gonna be great. And for those who live to read, I got stuff for them too. Whatever comes out is gonna be real anyway, and it's gonna be great. And for those who love to read, I got stuff for them too. And also find a way to incorporate it in my acting. I got summer plans already lined up after these 2 semesters. Just 9 more weeks of the semester. So ready to end it, because that means chucking up my deuces to Target. Anyway, life is great. Me and mine's relationship grows every day. Just trying to continue to enlighten her and uplift and encourage her to keep digging within herself. I'm slowly making my way into my dad. It'll all happen with time. They're not bad people, and they actually aren't that far off the track. They just need a little push. Yes, my parents, LOL. Me and Wright, we getting closer. Starting to understand each other more. Well, I'm starting to understand him more. I don't know about him, LOL, but it seems like it. Divine, oh my gosh, Divine is growing fast every friggin' day. They already talking about having another baby. They better do it soon though, cause I know how they are, LOL. Time flies, and before they know it, Divine will be 10. I'll be married, maybe. Righteous will be graduating or going to college. I don't want my brother or sister being the same age as my daughter or son. LOL. Selfish, right? LOL. Nah, for real. They need to bust a move on that. But yeah, everything is going well. Sometimes it feels like life is moving slow, but I take it as me living in the present moment, cherishing every second on this beautiful planet, focused on my path, listening to my inner mother, my earth mama, and go with the flow. Take what life gives me and make it work with me. Good is coming. I just got to keep pushing. Well, good is always constantly being fed to me, but I should say big things are coming, LOL. I'm so close, I can feel it. I'm going to keep pushing. Man, it's always nice to write. Always closing my book, feeling so refreshed. I needed this. Feels great. Signed, Essie Lou. So yeah, that was October 26, 2016. So for me, I had a few points. Woo! I have grown so much. I seen some judgment up in here, judgmental ways of thinking and looking at life. I seen judgment on myself, passing judgment on myself and on others. And I don't judge myself even in this moment reading my my journal entries. And I think that's why in the past I avoided that, because subconsciously I knew I don't want to judge myself, or I don't want to beat myself up because of things that happened in my past that I wrote about, when really I didn't want to beat myself up, because I knew that that's how I was, I would judge myself. And I don't judge myself. She is so fun. She's just where she was at that age. That's just how I look at her. She spoke on that situation with her and the guy in the nude shoot. And it was just the way that she spoke to herself. She was really I'm so naive and this and that. And it's crazy because those were the things that were told to her by other people. You can't be so naive, or you're being so naive. And really, we're all naive to something in this world. So she kept saying that over and over again, man, I'm so naive, and beating herself up about that. And she wasn't being naive. She just followed her heart in that moment. She was seeking for freedom, and she embraced her body so much, and she's always been so willing to just challenge herself, to not fear anything in life. And if she ever did fear something in life, that's when she knew she should do it. There's a difference between fearing something and discerning something, deciding, no, I don't want to do that because of A, B, and C, and D. Asking yourself, is this life-giving or life-threatening? That's more discernment. Now, fear is I don't know, and not really having a solid reason as to why or why not. And so, yeah, no one manipulated her. This is the girl who thought people manipulated her then, but no one manipulated her. You know, she had a choice. And she also spoke on that. She checked herself. Like, she wrote that, and then after thinking about it, which is why journaling is good, because you get that out of our heads and we're able to see, like, no, let's be real with myself. You know, it's like you are speaking to yourself. You are being your own best friend. And she even spoke on that, like, no one manipulated me. I just didn't use my power. And I take that, you know, just the song that we listened to and the poem that we read and the picture that I spoke on, the caged bird. And it was literally like the caged bird wanting to sing in that situation, her wanting to do a nude shoot. That was something that she had yet to do. She had done it before, but, you know, just in a different environment, moving on her own, coming home from college and returning to a home with her parents. You know, she was really seeking freedom. She felt that she had returned to her parents and she didn't want to fall back into being treated like a child again, because she had wanted so long to break free from home. You know, like, college was her ticket out, as it is for all children who who have parents who grow up with their parents, you know, who are just ready to be independent and on their own. And she was that one who was ready to be independent on her own. And when she had to return, she knew she had to stay with her parents for a while. And that was her way of justifying her freedom, of saying, I'm free and I can make these decisions on my own. And I'm going to have to bump my head. She's always been like that. The type of person who knows that if I'm indecisive about something, at the end of the day, she just does it because she doesn't want to live with any regret of not doing it. And then when she does it, she always knows going into it, I'm not going to live with any regret for doing it, even if it doesn't serve me, because I'm going to learn from it. And then the next time I'm presented with a situation like that, I know how to respond. I know how to say yes or no, or how it doesn't serve me. I know to discern the situation and not fear it. You know, is it life-giving or life-threatening? You know? So that's why she took that leap to do that. And she embraced the experience. You know, it got her into a fashion show and she was able to connect with different people. She was also able to see how people can be manipulative with their words, and they only are if you allow them to be, you know. And she was naive, if that's the word that you want to use, you know, but naive in a way where she was just inexperienced in that area, and she knew it, which is why she took the initiative to experience that, to go into the experience fearlessly. And she was able to, now she's not naive to it no more. You know, she has grown a lot. You know, she was really speaking down on herself and just beating herself up about it, and really seeing what energies, being mindful of the energies that she has and to allows into her space. She mentioned about working at Target and just working at places that she really didn't want to go. Like, you could hear it in her voice. You could hear it in the words that she wrote down was, I don't want to be here. This place makes my head hurt. It makes me feel sick. It depletes my energy. It drains me. So why am I here? Why didn't she take the initiative to step out of this space and to look for something that was more life-giving for her? Why? Because of fears, because of doubts and worries she had in front of her, you know, that told her that, oh, well, I can't get this job out there, but it's all the way out there. How am I going to get there? Instead of just doing it, instead of just acting on it or asking around, you know, there were so many things that she has now learned to do, is ask questions, you know, ask and not to give up, not to allow fear or society to make you feel like that is the only one thing that you have for yourself, you know. And she was able to take that experience. She was able to take that, that experience of being around a job and people that didn't reflect her energy, and she learned how to create peace there. She was an advocate. She was someone that people were able to talk to relieve their problems that they were experiencing, of all ages, not just people her age, people older than her too, that had been there for those 10 plus years. You know, she was actually able to liberate them and actually encourage them to find different places to work at. You know, there's times where people came in crying, and she was that person to talk to them and to help them. So she really understood that she wanted to leave and to move, but she was pulled to be there for whatever reason, and she embodied it. She embraced it. And yes, not every day was a sunny day for her. However, she chose to embrace those moments. She chose to make every experience something positive, to transmute it in something that was life-giving for her, because she knows that every situation that she is in is always something that's going to be giving of her. And even now, as I spoke and I opened, I was like, ooh, she got a lot of judgment going on, which is true, however, to discern it, she was speaking from what she knew best. And when I spoke on judgment, I know I'm like all over the place, so I'm going to explain, right? This is just free forming it. I'm not trying to be any certain kind of way when it comes to these podcasts or speak in a certain way. Just flow with me, because I need this to be an open channel. I have to stay as an open channel and allow words to flow through me naturally, because sometimes I know that I'm also speaking to myself, but I'm also speaking to the person on the other side of this phone. So whatever I'm led to speak and to say is also going to be giving for you, so however my words speak to you, don't try to think so hard about everything. Just allow your mind to be free. Allow your mind to go where your mind goes, so that way you can receive what it is that you desire to receive from these podcasts and from these sacred words. Okay. So I spoke on judgment, and that judgment, I saw judgment between her and her family, like judging them for where they were. And she discerned, she understood exactly like the cycles created within the family, and how that the cycles have also reflected her too, and I noticed that she forgot that she forgot that she was once in that space as well. And so it comes off like, she's putting all of everyone else's healing on her own self, instead of just continuing to focus on what she has to do and accept others for where they are in their position in life, because we are all on different paths, and everyone's going to get there when we get there, and so she felt that she had to take on that role, that leadership role, because she is a natural leader. Her name is Essence, and her life path is number 1. So she's a leader, she takes on that role of being a leader, and just naturally, it's just it's in her to do so. And because she does see the ups and downs and how you can balance the all, she wants to take the initiative to do so. And really it depletes her. It puts a lot of more energy on her than what she realizes. Or it put a lot of more energy on her than what she realizes. And I'm preaching to the choir, because I'm still doing that in ways. However, I acknowledge myself for the growth, because not in a subconscious way. Now I'm doing it consciously, to where before I even continue or do it, I know not to. Walking into every situation, I know to create a veil between me and someone else, and to accept them for where they are in their journey, and also accept and acknowledge myself for where I am in my journey, and continue to perfect those areas within myself, because that's why we see the reflection, and that's why the reflection continues to grow us, because we still have areas within ourselves that we are developing, that's how we do heal each other. Some people don't like to say, oh, we don't heal. It's not in an egotistic way. We're healing each other because we're healing ourselves, and we are all one. So to heal myself is to heal a part of you. To heal you is to heal a part of myself. The divine, the creator, is so infinite that it was able to break itself down. We were able to break ourselves down into many different fragments and aspects and characteristics and shades and colors of our own self. So that way we could experience different parts of the world at different lifetimes and changes, and see each other from a different point of view. However, we are all one. We are all one. That's how infinite, that's how divine we are. That's how divine God is. We are God. We just broke ourselves down into many fragments, but that is the true definition of oneness, of essence, the essence of creation. We are all the essence, and together we make the divine essence of righteousness. We are all infinite. We are the all. If we were to take some super glue and mush us all together, we'd be a bigger version of ourselves now. Pretty much. So, talked about listening to her first mind, her conscious. And that's something that she learned. She wrote that down in her journal. She said, I've just been ignoring my conscious mind, aka my spiritual guide, because of things that I wanted, not looking at how it both benefits and hurts me. Like I said, life-giving or life-threatening. She was in that state of mind then. That's beautiful. But she learned that lesson. She learned it. And she may have encountered different experiences where she was still having to learn that same lesson, just from a different perspective, a different gateway, through a different gateway of, is this life-giving or life-threatening? Is this life-giving or life-threatening? And seeking for freedom internally. In this state, she was teaching herself. She had just recently came in from LA. She spent a half of a year in LA studying at AMDA, American Musical and Dramatics Academy, for the Performing Arts Acting. And she had to return home. Her mother was with child, and she really wanted to be there. She felt pulled spiritually to be home with her mother, with her family. And to just be in Atlanta for some reason. So she returned, got herself a job, her first job, and she worked. So in this state, she applied to SCAD University here, and she got accepted with scholarship. But you know, SCAD is a lot of money. So, she didn't allow that to stop her. She just made a decision she didn't want to be in debt. She just felt like that wasn't her way. That wasn't the route that she desired to go through. And she could have done it, but then there was fears and doubts and things standing up in her way that prevented her from going through it, that she could have pushed through it and trust that, okay, even if she did go through and went to that school, she would have, learned, she would have gained some knowledge, she would have still continued her craft, made connections, and built she would have strengthened her gifts and her talents even more, and more so to create connections with people and to believe in herself more, that if she understood that, okay, when I get there, I know that this is going to be, in the long run, this is going to be worth it. But she had a lot of other people's fears and doubts and things in her mind, people that she encountered in LA who feared that, oh, it's just a competition. And even in school, teachers would say, like, it's really hard to get gigs, and it's a yes or no, and people end up in debt, and you end up having to pay all these bills and this and that, so it's never really destined that you're going to graduate school and be with an agency, so all these fears and doubts were in her head, in her mind. 111, as I'm reading this, in her mind about moving forward with school, and not understanding the bigger picture, of everything, and just the joy and the freedom, and that how much it'd be worth it. She was really pulled to go there. There was a lot of great opportunities. She just didn't want to, it was money. She feared money and the stress of money. And that's something that today in the society, we have to allow money to become our best friend, and to know that when our mind is our money, that we're able to manifest anything that our heart truly desires in life. Our mind is our money. Y'all feel me? So she decided that she was still going to hold on to that view of going to SCAD, and that she just knew, she kind of already knew, like, I need some time, because I have this this loan I'm already paying off with another school, and I got another one here, above the fear, understanding that situation. She did have some fears and some doubts there, but she also made a decision to be responsible, right? And to what she felt was most responsible in that situation, was to handle one bill and to just allow it to come to her, not try to force it. It became a force, and that's just what she felt. Overall, I do see, like, looking back at that situation, that it was a lot of fear. It was fear in her way of moving forward, to manifest that desire, because she truly was passionate about it. She fell in love with every aspect of it. She saw herself there, and so many opportunities, and everything that they had available for her there. It was fears and doubts and worries that stood in her way of manifesting that. So as a result, though, of making that decision, like every decision that you make, there is no right or wrong. It's just about what you want, the path that you want to go to, and what you're desiring to do. And so she didn't allow that to stop her. She set up her own classes, and she began to teach herself. She set up college courses for herself. The courses that she was going to be taking at SCAD, she applied those to herself, got books based and geared around those subjects, set a schedule up for herself, Google schedule, and she was working on that. And then she'd, set her work schedule around her school. And she told them at work that I'm still in school. I have classes from this time to that time. She was very adamant about this, and they respected her for that. And they accommodated, and she was still able to make money while teaching herself. It's beautiful. And she had that balance. She was disciplined. She learned a lot of discipline, and she also fell into a spiritual path, spiritual journey, where she was diving into yoga and self-health and discipline, and teaching herself, and I'm repeating, yoga and creating a spiritual foundation. And she realized that, oh, she can have all these material things, she could be doing all these passionate things, it's just not going to stay consistent with no spiritual foundation. So she was encouraged to dive into her spirituality. She set everything aside, she put everything away, so that she could focus on spirit and see where it is that her, what her spirit needed. It was a lot of questions that she needed answers to, and the decisions that she was making in life, she could tell was being made off of confusion, off of questions that were left unanswered within the religion that she was closest to. And she needed to answer these questions because she realized that her spiritual foundation was the most important foundation of life for her to stay consistent and maneuver and make things happen in life. So she did that, and she still, just because her passions are one with her, she still was able to cultivate and combine those passions and gifts within. Like, she still held on to them, she still acted upon them and did them, and was able to, ooh, look at that, was able to stay aligned with our heart's truest desire, using her passions, her gifts to give thanks and praise and celebrate the Creator, the Spirit, and yeah, so I went into all of that, right? That was deep, and a lot was gained, so that is where I spoke on that, because that is where she is in this journal entry, and just realizing that she is looking at her energy and looking at all these things, and there were so many things moving so quickly, her coming off of school, life was changing for her at this age of about 22, and about 19, 20, actually about 20, and she just felt herself shifting, and it was kind of like life was just pushing her to it. She didn't, I'm overstanding this situation now. At the time, she was just allowing life to push her into the direction that she needed to go, so that she can face all these doubts and fears and worries that were holding her back from manifesting her life's truest desire. She had to let go of everything. She had to learn to be without nothing, so that she could learn to be with spirit, so that she could learn that abundance lies within, so that she could learn that she is abundant, that she to find gratitude in the nothingness, in that cage, to find freedom within that cage. Being that the cage blocked her from everything externally, she was unable to take or act upon the things that she really wanted to in the ways that she wanted to. And then she had those sparks of freedom, those bursts of freedom, where she did realize, like, oh, I can sing. So I'm going to open my mouth to sing, and that's my freedom right there. That's my passion and my love, and that's what's bringing me peace and happiness. Oh, I can act. Oh, let me just start reciting a poem or a monologue, or write freestyle a song or something in my head right now. That's freedom. Oh, that felt good to release that in that way. Or in my dance, in my movement, I can dance in this cage, or I can imagine myself dancing in this cage. It's the power of my mind. She was able to see that. She was able to see that when she let go of egotistic, materialistic things and, covering her beauty up, she cut her hair so that she could see herself, so that she could feel herself and literally be without nothing, so that she could see that even in the nothingness, she is the all. That is everything. We have everything exists in the nothingness. That's the beauty. And yeah, she found that just being in places that she didn't want to be in. Target, limited her and restricted her. She felt limited at that job, at a corporate job, when she really wanted to work for herself, but she learned to find the beauty and the light within that until she was pushed out of it. She didn't want to give up. She didn't want to just leave, because she knew that if she left, then those lessons would be carried on to her at the next space, and that she'd just keep continuing the same karma and running to the same thing. So she allowed herself to finish that job. She allowed herself to be pushed out of where she was, and to be uncomfortable. She got comfortable in the uncomfortable. She found comfort within that. And when she was able to find peace and serenity to it, she moved on. she was like, wow, I collected everything I needed from here. And if I stay any longer, then I'm just going to be relearning the same cycles, the same lessons over and over again. And I don't need to relearn them again, because that's self-sabotage. And then I'm really trapping myself. And it's going to be even harder to get out the more I stay. So I need to get out now. I need to move, because I've learned. I've collected everything I needed to. I'm ready. So that bird broke free and she moved on. She learned a lot about balancing her energy and being able to be around those who just vibrate at a different frequency. And notice how she was also growing at a different frequency. She learned how to give. She learned how to be consistent and, to be honest too with her communication. She learned about time management. She learned so many wonderful things there. And most importantly, to do what makes her happy. That she didn't have to be stuck there. She had the power all along to leave. It's just taking action, using that confidence, like it was spoken in the song, using the power that you have, that willpower, to set yourself free. Okay. And yeah, she spoke on her parents and just getting to know them more. And over time, she has learned that, like I spoke earlier, to just accept where everyone is, and to be careful what you're speaking, because some things that you're projecting on other people, you still learning and growing and experiencing yourself. So it's not, we don't see other people to judge them for where they are, feel like, well, I need to fix them or tell them about themselves. Nah, you showing me. You showing me you're either way, even if your actions are something that I partake in, or if they're not, you're going to show me something about myself. And it's just really up to us what we decide to allow that reflection to show us. What we open our eye to when we look in that mirror. What we open our eye to see when we look in that mirror. Whew, so yeah, that is today's podcast. 52 minutes, right on the nose. Thanks for listening, y'all. I receive. I look forward to listening to this again and receiving something else, because, I speak to y'all and I also speak to myself. A lot of things I was saying, I was like, ooh, I feel light. Like, wow, so this was awesome. Thanks for rocking it out with me. What else? Yo, DM me if you have any questions or concerns, or if you just have a comment on it. Whatever you think or whatever you felt or received from it, I love to reflect. I love connecting with other people and to hear, like, wow, just confirmation, because I know we all go through similar things, and I meet reflections other times where it confirms that, wow, you're on the right track, or you're not the only one. There's others out there that have experienced the same thing, and that's where the healing is, in the community. Heal with the community, grow with the community, and I'm manifesting the word healing out of my life, because I like to look at it as growing. Healing makes it seem like we are still wounded and it's still open and we're still being we're still having to work, and like, it's, in a sense, I feel like it kind of sabotages the mind, feeling like we have to trap ourselves in the darkness or in how it hurt us, because we're healing from the hurt instead of growing from the experience. And so we just focus more on, everyone has their own perspective. That's just what I have how I've grown to see life, just allowing experiences to grow us and work on that, so yes. At Piece of Essence on Instagram, at My Sacred Warrior on Instagram. Follow those two pages and see what I got coming up next. I do a lot of readings online, so if you want to look at those readings and anything else that I just be running my mouth about on my story, I'd be talking about food, because I love food, and everything else, just being myself. So go get a Piece of Essence and get on Piece of Essence and look at that. And yes, I speak that your day is abundant and beautiful. I speak that this helps you, or just inspires you, or opens your mind up in some way, enlightens you, as it has done for me, as it is doing for me. And I love you. 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 This is freedom. This is freedom. This is freedom, y'all. The cage bird sings today. October 26th, 2019. It is a beautiful, beautiful day. Wherever you are, it's a beautiful day. And whenever you decide to listen to this, it doesn't have to be on October 26th. It doesn't have to be today. But whenever you decide to listen to it is when it is going to serve you the mostest. The mostest is when it's going to serve you the best. It's when you were ready for it. So it'll align with you. I love you. I speak wellness into your life and peace and prosperity and abundance to all my sacred warriors. Peace, love. Oh my gosh, I ended it and I just had to say that it's 1:44 p.m. So that's a perfect time.